A Better Beginning. Chapter 9. It had been 2 weeks since their conversation. A week ago Naruto had placed the seals on everyone, and today they released them to get accustomed to their new speed, strength, and stamina. Kunai had gone especially hard in their exercises to test their limits. However, during chakra control training Kurenai made a change. "Come here today, I want to test something before we do chakra control." Walking towards her, Kurenai began to explain, "This is litmus paper. It is so sensitive to chakra that if you pump any amount of chakra into it, it reveals your chakra affinity. Similar to the chakra scroll back in the academy." Shino noted. "Yes. I'm doing this now so I know what jutsu to teach you." Handing them out, she explained further, "If it burns, if your affinity is fire; if it dampens, it's water; if it turns to dirt, it's earth; if it wrinkles, it's lightning; and if it's wind, it gets cut." She demonstrates by pumping chakra into her own slip, making it burn. Holding the paper in his hand, Naruto comments, "Pretty intuitive." "Yeah, so Shino, you can go first." Holding the paper in one hand, he channels chakra through his hand and into the paper, and from the corner it begins to burn. "Earth style. Is it good?" Shino asks. "All affinities are good, they just have strengths and weaknesses. You're next, Naruto." Taking the paper, he grips it by the corner and channels chakra through it. It crinkled almost into a ball, then became very damp. Kurenai was very surprised. Very strong lightning affinity with water as a secondary. Most people aren't born with 2 affinities, and the ones that are tend to have Kekkai Genkai. "Your last, Hinata." Nervously she channeled chakra into her own paper. But instead of crumbling to dirt as she expected, the paper became very damp. Naruto grinned. "I was right. Her water affinity makes it impossible for her to master the gentle fist." Hinata became nervous. I am a Hyuga. Isn't it supposed to crumble?" "Sometimes affinities aren't passed down by genetics. When you get home, I want you to tell your father. You were never going to master the gentle fist because your mind is fighting your body every time you get into stance." "Oh." Hinata looked despondent. Naruto tried to help. "Hey! None of that. If there isn't another version of the gentle fist, then you'll make your own, and I'll help." Kurenai clapped her hands to regain their attention. "We will not be training in your affinities for at least another 2 months. So get back to your chakra control exercise." When individual lessons came around, Kurenai made 2 shadow clones, and all 3 groups split into the forest, the original going with Naruto. Kurenai pulled out 2 scrolls and asked, "I found 1 jutsu per affinity, so which would you like to learn first?" Naruto pulls out a brush and paper, then asks, "Lightning, but can I see them all so I can copy them into my personal library?" Kurenai smirks. "Whoa, hotshot, maybe 1 at a time. How about this? After you learn 1, I let you learn another." Naruto grumbles out, "Fine, hand me the lightning one." Tossing over 1 scroll, she put the other in her bag. Raitun, Raitenohira, Sirank. Seals, Tiger Snake Dragon Ram. Description: User surrounds their hands with lightning chakra. Amount of chakra determines the effect. Contact with the enemy can cause pain at minimum, temporary or permanent paralysis, unconsciousness, or death if enough chakra is used. The electricity can also pass through wires and water. Original jutsu, lightning release, shock palm. Cool. Time skip. After a healthy but large lunch, the Team 8 began to head towards the Hokage Tower for another mission. "Do you think they will give us chores again?" Naruto asks his teammates. Shino answers, "We are only fresh genin. We are not skilled enough to handle anything more." "I know," Naruto sighs. "But I think we are. We will get tea there eventually," and Naruto-kun. When they finally made it to the office, Kurenai opened the door and the genin followed her through. "Good afternoon, Okage-sama, Iruka-san." "Ah, Team 8, welcome back." Naruto waved, "Hey Gigi." Kurenai smirks and makes a request, "My students believe that they are ready for a harder mission. Is that mission currently available? That mission? Already? Yes. I think they're ready. If you say so. The Hokage speaks to the genin as he fishes a scroll out of a drawer. This is a capture mission. The client, the daimyo's wife, has tasked you with finding the target, capturing them, and returning them here. All three genin widen their eyes in shock. Such an important mission, for genin? Only for genin. Finding the scroll, he opens it and checks. The target has dark brown hair, black eyes, and a red ribbon in her hair on the left side. Closing the scroll, the Hokage tosses it to Naruto with a smirk. Oh. And she's a cat. The silence was deafening. Our mission is to capture the daimyo's cat. Daimyo's wife's cat. Yes. While the adults were trying to hold in their laughter, Shino just looked at the picture of the cat. Hinata thought she was cute, but Naruto just sighed. Alright, I guess. So Kurenai-sensei, how do we start? Let's start by finding the cat. Naruto shrugged. Okay, it can't be that hard. The laughter of all the adults confused the genin. Okay team, let's find that cat. 3 hours later. The squad returned with Tora in Hinata's arms as she petted the cat. The Hokage looked at this scene with his wide eyes. How? You beat the previous record by an hour. Really? That long? Shino found her with his bugs, but after the cat escaped 3 times, I just released my seal. Those claws really hurt. The Hokage nodded. Don't I know it? Looking at the old man suspiciously, Naruto continued. Anyway, after we pet her for a bit, she calmed down. She seemed really stressed. But Hinata really helped in calming her down. The Hokage smiled. Well done teammate in completing your first mission. Darling. A lady ran through the doors and snatched Tora out of Hinata's arms. I missed you. The hug that she gave the cat looked more like a strangle, evident by a flailing Tora. Facing the genin, she thanks them profusely, then leaves with the cat still trying to escape. Now we know why the cat runs away, Shino comments. Kurenai commented, well done genin. You've proven that you are ready for harder missions. Go home and rest. And Hinata, remember to tell your father about your affinity. They all saluted. Hi. Next day. Naruto woke up early that day, so he decided to get to the training ground early. It was 7:30 when he got there, so he decided to read his book on sealing level 6. It had been 15 minutes and he was halfway through the part on barrier seals when someone else arrived. Looking up from his book, he saw Hinata walking toward him, but something was off. He was going to keep reading until she got closer, but he couldn't take his eyes away. The closer she got, the more worried he got. First, he noticed that she was. Next, he saw the tear marks on her cheeks. And finally, he noticed that normally pure white eyes, with the slight lavender tint, were red. Putting his book away, he got up and asked, "What happened?" She thought she had cried all her tears the night before. But when she looked into Naruto's sky blue eyes, she broke once more. She fell to the floor and broke out in tears. Naruto immediately sat down and held her close. Hey, it's okay. Hinata cried into his chest. Mmihe. You're all right. I'm here. He began to stroke her hair in an attempt to soothe her. By the time everyone else arrived, Hinata had fallen asleep in Naruto's arms. When Kurenai saw Hinata asleep with tears on her cheeks, she was worried and whispered, "What happened?" Naruto looked at Kurenai. I don't know, sensei. It's just when she got here, she was crying. I don't think she got much sleep last night. Take her home. She needs sleep. I don't think that's best. Why not? Kurenai crossed her arms. Whatever happened, it was at her home. If I bring her back, it might make it worse. Where would we bring her? I could bring her to my home. No one would bother her there. And I could leave some clones to watch her. I guess that's fine. But no funny business. Of course not. I hate perverts. Making two Kage Bunshin, he gave them commands. Here, take her. One of you will pop once you know why she is crying. The other will stay to make sure she's okay. When he tried to pass her to his clone, she clung to him. Naruto smiled, cute, like a baby. Turning back to his clone, he asks, ready to catch her? Yep. Naruto then replaced himself perfectly with his clone. Now make sure she rests. And don't pop until you know what happened. As the clones ran away, the others began their exercise. They had increased their seal's level, so their exercise took much longer than normal. It was an hour to noon before they had completed their chakra control. During their individual lesson, Naruto was excited because he had almost completed his first jutsu. A/N, his chakra control, while still average because of his colossal reserves, has largely contributed to how fast he can learn jutsu. He had already got it to work, but he was working on lowering its power. Before, the jutsu always had enough power to kill a person, but today he was able to turn it down enough to only send someone into unconsciousness. He was running through the hand signs as some memories rushed back to him. Kurenai, seeing her student suddenly freeze, asked, "What's wrong?" With the most serious face she had ever seen on Naruto, he responded, "Do you know what the Hyuga seal does?" Kurenai was confused. Well, from what Hinata told me, it's supposed to destroy the eyes at death so that enemies cannot steal the eyes. But it's also a cursed seal that the main house uses to keep the branch house in line. It directly attacks the brain. Why? Naruto looked her dead in the eye. Because I'll have to be able to remove one by the end of the month. Chapter 10. Hinata woke up in a bedroom that wasn't hers but was concerningly familiar. As she looked around, it was a large room and extremely organized. Looking at the clock, it said 11:12. Activating her Byakugan, she saw that she was still in Konoha and not alone. Deactivating her Byakugan, she opened the door out of the bedroom and saw two Naruto clones. One was reading a book and the other seemed to be rewriting the same seal over and over again at very quick speeds. While one kept reading, the other looked up and smiled. "Good morning, I hope you had a nice nap." Hinata nodded. I did. Where are we? This is my apartment. Hinata blushed furiously. How did we get H here? After you fell asleep in my arms, Kurenai thought it would be best to let you sleep. Hinata's blush somehow got redder. Didn't YUTT take me home? Naruto's clone's smile began to fade. You cried yourself to sleep in my arms. Something happened where you live, would you mind telling me? Hinata's increasing blush vanished instantly as she slowly became despondent. My father, he. Her voice hitched as tears began to form in her eyes. When it told him about my affinity, he said. She fell to the ground, but Naruto caught her. Hey, it's okay, I'm here. I'm listening. He said someone that C could N never F fully M master the J Jukin W wasn't W worthy E enough to BBC clan heir. With one final whimper she cried, he's G going to S seal M me at T the end of T the M month. Though she couldn't see it bawling into the chest of Naruto's clone, they were explosively angry. They couldn't believe that her clan was taking away her birthright because she wasn't the same as everyone else. The clone holding Hinata turned to the other, go tell boss. Now. As the clone poofed behind him. The clone continued to soothe Hinata as she fell apart in his arms for the second time. Teammate did not take a mission that day, so Naruto had gotten home not long after he received the clone's memories. Seeing Hinata beginning to calm down, he replaced the clone and held Hinata in his arms. Naruto stroked her hair and asked, how can I help you through this? Hinata stuttered, when IG get sealed. IW will be moved to the B branch H house. How am I supposed to unite my clan if any the M main house members C could K kill me if I even try? Prove them wrong. Hinata with tears in her eyes looked to Naruto confused. What do you mean? Naruto pulls her off the ground. Come over here. Naruto guides her to the bookshelf in his room. Sitting her on the bed, he takes a single book off the shelf. Holding his hand in the books, he begins, "This is a bingo book. This specific one contains every S-rank shinobi to come out of Konoha. I will give you 100 ryo for every Hyuga you find in this book." Hinata looks confused. "Are you sure?" "Just look," Naruto insisted. As Hinata flipped page by page, she was growing more and more confused and surprised. "Why aren't there any Hyuga in here?" Naruto smiled. "You know I want to be Hokage, so I learned about what it took to be one. I checked the bingo book and found out that every single Kage, without exception, was at minimum an S-rank shinobi. This led to finding out how to be one. And I came to the conclusion that every single S-rank shinobi has something special that separates them from everyone else. Something nearly irreplicable." Hinata was scared. But how am I supposed to prove my family wrong? Become an S-rank shinobi. If the Hyuga respect power above all, then show them how powerful the Hyuga can be. Show them that they were wrong to seal you, that Hyugas can do more than just the Jukin. But how am I supposed to do that if they can kill me if I get too strong? Holding Hinata by the shoulders, he reassured her, "I can't do anything about them moving you to the branch house. But what I can do is remove that seal. I have over 20 clones learning every single thing they can about Fuinjutsu and Juinjutsu. If you're going to get sealed at the end of the month, then I'm going to learn to remove it by then." Hinata looked petrified. What if MIC Clan F finds out? Live with me. From the time Hinata had spent with him and following, stalking him, she knew that Naruto rarely made any careless decisions. As boisterous he could be, Naruto was also very calculative. So it surprised her when Naruto suggested something so rash. There was a prolonged silence as Hinata began to blush harder than she ever had before. Live with YYU? When you get sealed, your clan won't care about you anymore, you'll just be another branch member to them. Maybe even less so because of your affinity. Live with me so that you don't have to be a second-class citizen in your own home." While the thought of living with her long-standing crush had pleased her greatly, she was still disheartened by the fact that her clan would no longer care about her once she was branded. "Are you sure? IWW wouldn't want to be a BB burden." Holding her hands, Naruto speaks very clearly, "You will never be a burden to me. You were my first friend. You are precious to me and I would do anything to help you. I want you to be able to wake up with a smile." Instilled with the slightest bit of confidence, Hinata asked, "What do I need to do? Do you think it would be possible for you to get me a copy of the seal?" 1 week later. You could tell Hinata was extremely nervous as she walked towards the Hyuga compound, and though next to her Naruto showed a very calm and confident exterior, he was just as nervous. Arriving at the gates, they both bowed to the guards as Hinata spoke, "Good afternoon Raku-san, Yomite-san. Would like to see my father please?" As they opened the gates, Raku answered, "You will find Hayashi-sama in his study. Have a nice day, Hinata-sama." Though Hinata was let in, they blocked Naruto's path and Yomite spoke, "You are not allowed in here." He is with me. Hinata squeaked. Sighing, they both stepped out of the way and Naruto began to follow Hinata. As they walked through the compound, Naruto was in awe of the luxurious houses and beautiful gardens. But all his nervousness came back as they stepped through the doors of the biggest, most luxurious building of them all. "I know that Hyugas are very important, but I didn't know Hinata's dad was this important." As they both walked towards the back, Naruto could tell Hinata was getting more and more nervous. He grabbed her by the hand and squeezed it. Looking back, Hinata saw Naruto give a confident nod, so she took a breath and kept walking. Arriving at a large door, Hinata knocked. They hear a muffled, "Enter." Sliding the door to the right, they both walk in, and while Hayashi's face remained stoic, he was confused at Naruto's presence. "Who is this?" Naruto bowed. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I am your daughter's teammate. It is nice to meet you, Hyuga-sama." "A pleasure. Why are you here?" I am here as moral support for Hinata's request. Hayashi turned to his daughter. Request? WWLIIWW1, YYUSCIII. Hinata couldn't get a word out. Hayashi was getting tired of Hinata's stutter and was about to speak on it, but he stopped himself. Naruto touches Hinata's shoulder. Hey, just breathe. Hinata turned to Naruto and he saw how scared she was in her pale lavender eyes. It's okay. Just breathe, and speak clearly. Hayashi watched the peculiar interaction with interest as Hinata took a breath. I am requesting to move out of the Hyuga compound after my seal is placed. Though she wasn't able to meet his eyes, it was the first time in years that he heard her speak without a stutter. Nobody was ever able to calm her like that. No Hyuga has ever lived outside of this compound, and it would be foolish of me as clan head to let you because of the possibility of someone stealing your Byakugan. Hinata began getting nervous. IW would be sealed, isn't that impossible? Not if you were captured. Like when you were 3? Hinata instantly became petrified. Seeing this, Naruto cut in. Well, assuming that she was kidnapped directly from this compound, it would be much riskier to kidnap someone from the center of the village. Raising an eyebrow, Hayashi comments, you speak as if you already know where she would live. After taking a breath in preparation, Naruto speaks, she would be living with me. Hayashi managed to keep a stoic face. Why would I let you do that? This time Hinata cut in, B because we L live together, we C could S split the bills. And B because we are T teammates, we would H have identical S schedules. Hayashi stared at them both and the silence made it extremely uncomfortable for the both of them. Hinata, please leave the room. The two genin looked at each other nervously, but Hinata still got up to leave. After Hinata closed the door behind her, Hayashi spoke, although I do not show it, I care for my daughters very much. However, the well-being of the clan is my top priority. Last week when Hinata came to me telling me her affinity, I was forced to forego my responsibility as a father and seal her for the betterment of the clan. When I told her of my decision, I could almost see her heart break. Naruto met Hayashi's eyes, and although he tried to show confidence, he could feel Hayashi glare straight through him. When you two came in today, I saw you do something that I couldn't do, something that I thought no one could do. You gave Hinata confidence. For years me and other Hyugas have done our best to instill some Hyuga pride into her, but she still kept her meek personality. But today, you managed to calm her from that annoying, incessant stutter and momentarily grant her some confidence. Naruto's mask of confidence began to break as Hayashi kept his stoicism. Today, I am choosing my daughter. Whatever contact she has had with you seems to give her confidence. So I am leaving her with you in the hopes that she finally gains the confidence she should have always had, and that she can grow into someone that can motivate this clan to change. As a smile was about to spread across his face when Hayashi activated his Byakugan to give the most menacing glare, but if I ever find out that you have hurt her in any way, I will punish you in ways that you cannot comprehend. Do you understand? Though Naruto kept his happy grin, he was extremely scared of his teammate's father, so he nodded expeditiously. Hayashi shouted, "Come in, Hinata." She quickly slid open the door and looked at Naruto, who was grinning. As she stepped inside, she looked to her father. "I will allow you to live with Uzumaki-san. You have next week to begin the moving process and 3 days to move out after the sealing." Happily she hugged her father, and though he kept his stoicism, he did hug her back. "May you please both leave? I need to continue my paperwork." Standing up, they both chorused, "Thank you." Stepping out of the room, they smiled and hugged. The blush Hinata had made her glow, but she calmed down enough to not faint and enjoy the hug. Separating, Naruto smiled and asked, "How about I help you start packing up?"